Well, it's your morning YouTube update from JasonM4. Before I get into this video, I want you to look at the screen. The GatewayPundit.com has an interesting little article. Look how CNN doctored the photo of the Fort Lauderdale shooter Esteban Santiago, which I'm sure you all have heard about by now, the shooting that happened at the airport. Born in 1990, 26 years old. Here's the photo of what he's supposed to look like. This is a normal photo. This is the photo that all news agencies had. And this is the one that CNN decided to show. Notice a little difference? Side by side. Undoctored photo versus CNN used photo of Esteban Santiago. They're trying to make him look like an average, white American, whatever. When clearly he is not. I mean, with that last name, it sounds Spanish, first of all. But I'm reading now that, he may be tied to ISIS or whatever. Whatever. So, anyways, on to other news. I just read you a story a few days ago about Finland trying to test out of 2,000 people for, I think, 2 years or a year or 2 years. They're going to give them what is called a basic income, or a universal income, if you will. It just, and in their case, it was supposed to be like if you're out of work or, you can collect something. But for the test period, they're talking about it don't matter if you have work or not, or if you find a job, we're going to give you this money anyways. But the premise, I think, ultimately is let's give everybody a basic income. Free handouts for everybody. And as I mentioned in my video about it, I gave you the little peacock story in my old neighborhood. You feed them, you give them water, they're multiplying out of control, they're lazy peacocks, they don't want to do anything, it's free food. You take that away and all of a sudden they got to work for their food, they got to work for their water, find sources. A little different story. But, that's peacocks. I was just saying that's just a wild animal. We humans are technically animals or mammals, whatever. And we, even though we're supposed to be the smart ones, we do the same thing. How many times have we heard about the EBT being taken advantage of, like out of control, or Medicaid, Medicare being taken advantage of? But anyway, so now that the president of India, or prime minister, whatever, has completely destroyed their economy over there by getting rid of their 500 and 1,000 note currencies, making them useless at this point, causing absolute devastation across the country over there. Here's a new news story. Sputnik News. The Indian government is likely to introduce universal basic income, a practice of paying every person a fixed sum of money as a means to stimulate the economy and improve the quality of life of its citizens, according to the concept's leading proponent. And again, I'm going to give you because this is going to be kind of the pros and cons. I'm going to give you the cons. And I think it's going to be obvious if it becomes the new norm, but let's get to that in a minute. The Indian government is preparing a report documenting that a universal basic income is, or UBI as they call it, is feasible and basically the way forward, according to Professor Guy Standing. Hold on. Your name is Guy Standing. I just saw this guy over there standing by a wall. According to Professor Guy Standing, a leading advocate for UBI, a leading advocate for UBI and the leader of the Basic Income Earth Network movement. Universal basic income, originally proposed by Thomas More in his the year 1516 book Utopia, and later endorsed by Thomas Paine, a founding father of the United States, in 1796, is simply that every person in a city, state, or country receives a fixed monthly payment regardless of a person's gender, wealth, occupational status, or voting history. The wealthy, the poor, the employed, and the unemployed all receive the same sum from the government. Proponents of the idea point out that people have natural rights to receive food and other basic survival commodities, and that right must be guaranteed by the state. Moreover, UBI proponents observed that citizens are routinely forced to do what the market demands of them instead of doing what they really want to, be it art, education, or other less than profitable occupations. Now, that last paragraph, that sounds, honestly, it sounds good. I mean, think about this. How many people go to college, get a degree, whether it's a 2-year, 4-year, master's, whatever, and then, got a different job doing something maybe they like, that ultimately was not what they went to school for or what they got their degree in anyways. So you have this degree in such and such that really offers you nothing because now you're doing what you want, what you really like. Maybe your mindset was, I want to make, like most people, I want to make money, as much money as I can, so I want to go into college and figure out what I want to do. That's the field I want to get into, only to find out I don't like it. I've already got to land another job, and that's what I'm doing now. So and I'll tell you this too from home. My wife homeschools, and there are other families, of course, that homeschool, and others do something called unschooling, which is simply let your kid decide what they want to do and help teach them whatever it may be, but let them decide what they want to learn. And if they don't want to learn algebra and, proper writing, whatever, what a noun and pronoun and all this stuff, a lot of people just say, to the hell with it. When's the last time you ever used a noun, pronoun, verb, or needed to know what those were? Never. So I get it. And some of these people, these kids, have grown up to do some pretty incredible things with their lives as far as creating businesses, that sort of thing. When we were in Tennessee, I remember going to a little ice cream shop, and it was a very young girl running that place. It was hers, and she had a little Volkswagen Bug with little silly eyelashes on the front headlights. But it was her car, and it was her business, and I believe she was a homeschooler. So she gets to do what she wants. I want to run a little ice cream shop. That's her deal. So I kind of get this, where you don't have to just say, well, I've got to have this kind of job because it pays for my lifestyle, and that's the end of the story. But I don't like what I'm doing. A basic income, of course, would help you offset some of these costs, and then maybe you could take the lesser paying job and do what you actually want to do. And in all honesty, within society, that would be more productive, because if you go and try to work with someone, hey, I brought this paperwork in, I need you guys to do this. For example, maybe the DMV, and those people don't want to be there. They're slow, they drag their feet. Clearly, they're not happy there. But it's a job. How many times do you ask someone, how do you like a job? Well, it's a job. It's a job. How's your job? How are you doing today? Oh, same old shit, different day. You hear that a lot. This could offset that to where, again, you could get a job that you'd like to do. Maybe it doesn't pay that much, but you have a universal income coming in, which offsets it. So this is some of the pros about this idea. The con, or cons, whatever, the biggest con of this, pro and con, is that my example a minute ago, the peacocks and EBT. I want to sit down and do ultimately nothing. Talk about millennials not wanting to do anything. Oh, this is a dream come true. I get to go surf, go to the beach. I don't want to work today. And they just do their thing. Barely surviving, but they survive if this basic income was there. The thing that I could see coming from this, I could almost guarantee this, by the way. Everybody is going to raise their prices. You think rents are high now? Rents will go up even more, because they're going to know everybody has a basic income. And if it's similar to what they were testing out in Finland, let's say in the conversion to the United States, is about $580 a month, they say. So again, you get two people, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, 2 roommates, whatever it may be. 3 people maybe. Again, we're talking young, 18, 19, I'm out on my own finally, kind of a thing, 20-year-olds. Group up with a couple of their friends, roommates. You got 3 people with $580 a month. That's 15, 16 something, whatever, almost $1,700 a month coming in. You could easily pay for a 3-bedroom apartment, generally speaking, across the U.S., not including the high areas of the U.S. where there's a few of these. Just generally speaking, that will easily pay rent. So then you could argue, well, they could get a part-time job or, again, work for minimum wage, McDonald's, whatever it may be, offset that. Now they've got spending money, car money, etc. But what would happen to the person who owns the house? I'm going to raise my rates because I know that these people can now afford it. Everyone's going to be basic income. Gas prices, why shouldn't they go up? Everybody can afford it. They got an extra $500 something a month now coming in. Everybody does. The prices would jump on everything. That's my opinion, and I'm pretty sure that's what would happen. So while I kind of praise the idea a little bit, like, yeah, like let's look at India, for example, since this is the article about them. Most of India is very, very poor. I mean, really poor. That was one of the nations, I think, where they said some of the poor people there earn what is the equivalent of a couple of U.S. dollars a day salary. Some places that's a few dollars a month. Okay, so I could see over in a place like that what all of a sudden this money would do for people like that over there. But again, everybody in the upper echelons of society who own the buildings, own the houses, own the duplexes, own everything. We're going to build, expand real estate moguls, come in, massively build out India because these people living in shacks now can now afford some real buildings where they can have electricity and air conditioning, those kind of things. They're going to come in. And again, you're going to have this huge boom on everything based off this income, which then leaves you back to where we are today, in my opinion. So that $1,500 a month place you're renting right now for 3 or 4 bedroom, whatever, now turns into a $2,000 a month place, maybe a $2,500 a month rent. Just like that. So what would happen is now the government's got to step in, price controls. Again, you got socialism at that point. So I get the fact that there are people who absolutely struggle and absolutely deserve to live at least a mediocre life compared to where they are now, which would be like massively make them massively happier than where they are in life now. But given just a little bit of time, and all of us will be taken advantage of again. They won't be able to afford their houses. Next thing you know, they'll be living like what a lot of the Mexicans do in the States when they come across the border, and there's a bunch of them. They group up together, find little odd jobs, whatever it is, cash money. They live 8, 9, 10 people to a house, sometimes more. Couple, 2, 3 families easily. They all pitch in. All of a sudden, bills are cheaper. But again, I wouldn't want to find my neighbors in this neighborhood like, oh my gosh, we got to get out of the United States. Let's go across the border. And it's just my buddy, friends, neighbors, I should say. And we're all now grouped up, living in a house, literally a 3-bedroom house when we need like a 9 or 10 bedroom house. So all the kids, in one room, a set of parents in one room, the other set of parents in the other room. And then, of course, out in the living room or somewhere, they've kind of made a makeshift spot for the other 2 parents, that kind of thing. Who wants to live like that? Again, this is America. We're not supposed to have to deal with this stuff. Now, I realize this story's not about America. But we just had this rapid fire. Finland, now India instantly. So where is this world headed? And here's the thing. I could be wrong about this. Maybe prices won't jump up all of a sudden. But I got a sneaky suspicion they will, because everything will always equalize. So if you start off with $0, everything's equalized around that $0 for everybody when you start off in the world. If you start off with $508 a month, trust me, your $508 per month is going to be gone before you can blink an eye on whatever stuff, just the basics, groceries, gas, oh, there it goes, gone. So it says, proponents of the idea point out that people have natural rights to receive food and other basic survival commodities, and that must be guaranteed by the state. A UBI guarantees that people will not be impoverished, will not go hungry, and will be protected from job loss due to automation and offshoring, and will also cut the need for many forms of social protection, including unemployment benefits. UBI opponents say that paying people money for nothing will eliminate a person's incentive to work. That's a big 10-4. That's what I was just saying. A 2016 poll in Switzerland, however, indicated that only 2% of potential UBI respondents would abandon work if they received a monthly amount. A UBI referendum in the wealthy country lost last year a UBI referendum in the wealthy, so in Switzerland, lost last year as just 18% of Swiss voters were found to support the program. So only 18% of Swiss people, the Swiss, said we would support it. But they're saying only 2% of Switzerland would actually abandon work if they could get this free handout. And I'm sure people would like to say that until it starts coming in. Oh, I got this free money all of a sudden. Why am I working so hard? There's people who sit behind desks like this idiot JSNIP4 who does a little bit of coding and IT work, gets to sit in air conditioning all day, while I'm out here freaking sweating, breaking my back, doing this, doing that, driving for hours, making a lot less than that guy, computer programmer. It's my money and I want it now. I don't even want to work. Screw this. I'm going to just get this money, I could easily see someone saying, again, because we always compare ourselves to other people. That's just what we do. Why do they make more than me? Am I better than them? Stupid things that our human minds do. But if 2% are saying we would abandon work altogether, I don't see why. I mean, why would if they put this in America? Hey, we want to, and again, they're going to push it by saying the homeless, the less fortunate, this would benefit them. However, everybody gets this. All people, all wealth factors, all poor factors, everything factored in. If you're an American citizen, you're getting this. You mean to tell me only 18% would be for this and say no? Are you kidding me? I don't even know that nonsense is true for Switzerland. 18% don't even want it. Who doesn't want free money? You kidding me? Ask JSNIP4 right now if he minds if he puts a few of these advertisements in his video and you watch them. Ask me if I mind about that. Oh, no, don't do it. I'm going to get paid a couple dollars for you watching these videos ultimately. Extra money? Side income? Yes, please. And I do feel like I'm at least working for it a little bit, right? Keeping my peeps informed. I'm not just sitting back, hey, subscribers, I want you to stare at all my videos and make me filthy rich and just keep playing my old videos because I'm not going to do any new videos. That's the mindset, right? I'll just collect money and do nothing. No. JSNIP4 works hard for his money. Dun, 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 dun. So hard for his money, so you better treat him right. I probably shouldn't have sang that. Can we rewind that and just pretend I didn't do that? Thanks. Another concern routinely brought against UBI is immigration and the potential for a free ride at the expense of working citizens. Some suggest that UBI payments be arranged not only inside the country of origin, but also in neighboring territories as a means of countering illegal immigration. So how the hell are you going to tell another country, you guys need to do this too? Or are you trying to tell me that your country is going to pay for those other countries' people to stay over there? You guys stay across the border, we'll give you a couple bucks. Okay? Guess what they're going to do? A whole bunch of them are going to flood across the border so they can get that couple bucks too. If that's what they're suggesting, it doesn't really say. The practice of implementing a universal basic income has been tried in 3 pilot schemes in India. Really? Or is this happening now? 2 in Madhya Pradesh and a smaller effort in West Delhi in close cooperation with Standings, the guy Standings, BIEN organization. According to Standings reports, welfare improved dramatically in the villages, particularly in nutrition among the children, healthcare, sanitation, and school attendance and performance. But again, I mean, this is a trial period in a village, remote village somewhere. If you do this across a nation, not even a continent, but the nation, because people can't raise prices at the grocery store in India for everybody else just because the little village that they're testing on got a basic income. No, we can't do that. Most of our money comes from everyone else anyways. So we can't just raise prices all of a sudden because there's new people coming and buying our food and we're going to screw everybody else who's going to be pissed off at us. No. So this has to be implemented fully across the board, and that's when I think you will see prices just rising. That's when I think you'll see that. Now, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have a problem, and I know this is like trending, on like crossing the border of socialism, but sometimes I do wish there were price controls on key elements, namely food, gasoline, electricity to your house. Those items. Food, gasoline, electricity bill at your house. I wish those things would have limits, period. Because if you can contain those, a scheme like this will work. However, the argument will be, well, what about the rent payments, JSNIP, or the mortgage payments. Again, I get it. That would be one of the only issues that could come up. All of a sudden, prices of everything, such as rent, mortgage, start skyrocketing, which then all of a sudden offsets the people's ability to go buy food again. We're back in square one. So I don't know. According to a December 17th New York Times article about a pilot universal basic income program in Finland, the practice might be just the right solution to meet the global demands of increasing population. Well, it remains to be seen. Look, if this works, I am absolutely 100% for this. Specifically, not so that I get a bonus to, the people who really need it get it. And again, we all get to have it. But I'd be very happy to see very poor people all of a sudden coming up in the world. That would be fantastic. I just don't know if it would ultimately stay that way when prices start rising because of this extra money coming into the system. It's going to be so easy for anybody to justify why they should raise their rates all of a sudden. I've been struggling by. I'm barely middle class. I deserve a little bit better too. If these poor people can come up, then I can come up just a little bit too. Therefore, I'm raising my prices. Just a little bit. Boom. And are you going to complain? No. You've got an additional $580 coming into you, additional $580 coming into your wife. I'm not going to complain at all if my grocery bill goes up 20%. No problem. But the Indian or the poor person becomes a problem. So I just don't know how this will work. That's all I got. Next video. Take care.